Hey everybody, it's your girl Lisi and I'm back again with another epic, juicy, and ghetto drama-filled story time. Okay, I'm not about to do a whole intro because this is part 2 to the story time that I did. So here's the link above. It'll be down below in the comments. If you don't watch part 1, you're going to be very confused right now. This wasn't even supposed to be a 2-part series. Make sure you watch part 1 before you watch part 2. But if you want to just watch part 2, that's on you, boo. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Period. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so when that Monday came, I was off. So I wasn't there to necessarily witness what did or didn't go on. But the information was relayed to me by Mari because Mari was working on Monday. Oh yeah, Mari and Lavi both worked on that Monday, of course with Karen. And sure enough, you know, Monday came and left and Karen didn't address any of her issues with Lavi. Karen was actually quiet the entire day. Like they said, like her energy was so off. It's like she was so quiet. Like usually she would talk and, you know, engage and have conversation. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't a horrible girl. You know, she was, it was, you know, she had a lot of extra moments, but you could deal with it, you know, for the most part. Yeah, she didn't say anything to Lavi, didn't get nothing off her chest, didn't address anything with Lavi. And, you know, Lavi, she usually leaves before the rest of us. So she left for the day and then she didn't say anything. And to make the long story short, because we're trying to wrap up this story as soon as possible at this point, the day ended with Karen crashing out on a customer.
Oh my God.
Don't act shocked.
All of this information I'm finding out after the fact, because when I noticed that something was off now was when I had came in the next day on Tuesday and it was me and Karen opening up the store. You know, we was working, I told you I was working like 10-hour shifts at this dispensary. Okay, I was opening, closing. That's why I ain't had time to be here with y'all, but now I do. Anyways, let me continue. So when I had came in, Karen had opened the door, but she had looked like she was kind of like sad or crying. I'm like, how is you cool? Like, what's going on? But feel me, I'm the type of person, like, I don't ask no questions. You know what I'm saying? I wait for people. If somebody want to give me a certain piece of information, they're going to give that to me. So I go and clock in. I go to the back and I see that the owner, he's in the store and they're in the back. Karen and the owner are having like their own little conversation. And, you know, they're speaking quietly to the point where, you know, obviously I cannot hear their conversation. So I basically just start kind of doing what I need to do to open up the store for the day. And I'm just minding my business, right? I open up the store, do the opening store duties. Before I know it, Karen is walking out the door. And I'm confused. Okay, but mind you, at this point, y'all, I don't know that she's crashed out on a customer as of yet. I don't know this information. I know the owner, he was there for a little bit of time and then somebody else came in. I really don't remember who the somebody else was. Just know it came to where, okay, me and Mari are having this conversation now where she basically tells me,
yeah, like, you know, when Karen came in on Monday, she really didn't say anything to me or Lavi. And she crashed out on a customer before, not like 30 minutes before we closed.
I'm like, she crashed out on I was like, well, first of all, the first order of business is she's scary because she was talking real regarding Lavi, and when you was told to put it on the floor and have a big girl conversation with her, you didn't want to have a conversation with her. So I just find that weird. You're a weirdo. You're scary. Any that I got an issue with, I stand on business, okay? And y'all gonna see that in a second. And then she tells me it was a customer who had came in. All Mari knew was she was in the back using the bathroom and she starts hearing screaming in the front and her name being called by Karen. And she runs up to the front. As soon as she runs up to the front, Karen runs to the back and immediately, you know, gets out of the situation with the customer. From what Mari told me, the customer basically said,
I had asked her a simple question about if y'all had simple stuff in stock. The way she responded to me, like, she responded with like an attitude, but it wasn't it was an attitude that was uncalled for, and it was kind of like a sarcastic, condescending attitude.
This is what the customer's saying. And then on top of that, Mari had told me, like, earlier in the day, there was an incident with another customer where to make the long story short, the customer basically kind of said like, yeah, you know, she was kind of being a little mean to me. So at this point, now she's left the job. And I'm just like, okay, well, because my thing is I came in from my shift yesterday and me and her were supposed to be working all day together and she left. So I'm asking Mari like, okay, is she coming back? Mari's like,
honestly, like, I don't know if she's coming back because she gave her key back to the owner and, you know, it seems like she needs to take a break.
Come to find out, it was alleged that she had checked herself in to a mental health facility because I guess she was going through some type of mental health crisis, and that's nothing to joke about. If you're a little delusional and psychosis and psychotic and you're not all the way up there in the head, I highly advise, yes, go get the help that you need so that you could get right. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for that. So I was like, well, shit. I was like, well, if she gave back her key, like, I mean, I guess that means she not coming back. Like, I'm not tripping about her not being here, honestly. Like, you know, we was basically kind of short-staffed at this point, but I wasn't tripping because that meant that, okay, I'm the next runner-up for key holder, and I don't want to say excited about key holder, but it was something that I was semi looking forward to because that came with a raise. You know, that position, it's not that much more money, you know what I'm saying, but it's a little bit more than what I was getting. So I was like, okay, so that means I might just be the next runner up because, you know what I'm saying, Golden's gone, Karen's gone, I'm the only bud tender left. It's just a bud tender, a manager, and, you know, a person who has a high position. Like, that's all that's, you know, here at the store. We was a little short staffed, and then but there is another store as well. So us being short staffed wasn't too bad because we would sometimes have, you know, people from the other store come over and help us. But it was mainly just us, like, holding down the fort while Karen was gone, because nobody really knew like if she was coming back, you know, what was gonna happen. We really didn't know, but we was holding down. We was producing stuff. We was getting the 3.5s. We was getting the 7 grams together. We was getting the pre-rolls together. And when I tell y'all, it would be so much stuff that we had to make and label and package and clean and still take customers and still upsell them and still, like, I'm not going to get into the numbers of everything, but just know, like, we was a 2-woman show doing a lot of stuff, tired, okay, coming in 5 days a week, 6 days a week, working 10-hour shifts. Mind you, this was going on for maybe about 2 weeks, okay, before Karen came back. Now let's get into when Miss Karenita came back. When Karen came back, it was an announcement, right? Because we had like a group chat. So the owner basically announced in the group chat, oh, before we even get into that, it was probably like 2 weeks after Karen been MIA, wherever she went, she calls the store. I just so happened to answer. She's like, hey, can I speak to Mari? She go and speak to Mari. Karen, basically, she's ready to come back to the job. She wants to come back to the job, but she wants to come back as part-time and just be like a regular bud tender. She doesn't want to be a key holder. She doesn't want the responsibility of being key holder because she wants to work part-time. She doesn't want to open and close and everything like that. So then when the announcement was made that she was coming back, we was all a little confused because the owner had wrote in the chat, oh yeah, Karen is coming back as a key holder still. And we was all kind of just like, huh? We was kind of just confused because we was just kind of like, we wasn't mad. We didn't feel no type of way, but we was just kind of confused. Like, in the corporate world, this would never go. Because our thing was, we was all kind of confused as to how this woman can talk ish about someone who's basically above her, but never address the issue with her. I don't think the owner knew that piece, but he did know the piece of her crashing out on the customer and basically going MIA for 2 weeks. Because when they said she was gone and she didn't know, and they didn't know if she was going to come back, like, they was dead serious. Like, they didn't know she was going to come back because the way she was moving, like, she really wasn't giving too much detail. We just knew that she was going through a mental crisis. She didn't have a doctor's note. Nothing. But she's able to come back as a key holder, and now with a restricted availability, because at first her availability was open and now it's restricted because, you know, she has to prioritize whatever she needs to prioritize in her life and in her mental health. And again, I'm not mad at that, but it was kind of just like, it kind of just threw everybody off, because we was just like, how do you get to crash out on a customer and come back and still have the same title? How do you get to crash out on a customer, abandon the job, and still have a job?
I am confusion.
So Karen had came back. When she had came back, that is when I had like left to go out of town. So her first day back was when I was flying out of town. So it was probably like a week that she had been back before I eventually started working back at the job. First of all, I think when I had went back to work, actually, she was off, and I had asked Mari and Lavi, like, okay, what is it giving? Like, what's the energy giving? Like, how's it going? Like, is the whole cool? Like, what's going on with the whole? Like, it's all good? Like, what's going on? And they was basically just like, yeah, her energy is still not giving. Like, they was straight up with me, like, her energy is just off. They're in there working and she just quiet. Mind you, this is a person that is not typically quiet. They're typically more on the vocal end of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? And we did have a lot of quiet moments at the job where, you know, everybody just kind of focused with their work. So, you know, we're not constantly talking, but it's a difference between not speaking at all and speaking here and there throughout the day. And it was giving, she was trying to, you know, shelter herself. I don't know what she had going on. So I was like, oh God, okay. Well, thanks for the warning, because now I know what I'm about to walk into. So of course, you know, when it was the day for me and her to finally work together again, you know, I was being kind. I was being like my normal Alicia. And, you know, I did notice that her energy was a little off, but I'm just like, you know, maybe she's still trying to get back right. I don't really know. You know, even Lavi was kind of saying too, for her to have, you know, abruptly leave the job and claim that she went to somewhere to get help, she would think that she would come back, you know, semi-refreshed. Like, we're not saying you have to be 100% healed, but she came back and it was still giving dark cloud energy. The same kind of dark cloud energy that she had before she left, it was still kind of giving that, which I was noticing as well. And mind you, this is our first shift back together. Today's task, or whatever task it was that day, or whatever day that was, the task was for us to pack up edible gummies, right, in these little jars. And to make the long story short, this specific batch of gummies was taking longer to do because there was an excess amount of sugar on the gummies, and I was instructed by the owner to take the time out to dust the sugar off before putting it in the jars. So that's what I was doing. And mind you, at this point now, I know that Karen is not a manager. It was a point in time where I think it was something going on between Golden and Karen. Because remember, I told y'all they would have little arguments between them as well. And I think Golden was talking to Lavi. Golden was like, yeah, me and her was having this whole text back and forth. And she basically tells me, Golden, I am your manager. So da 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 da. And when Lavi heard that, Lavi was like,
she's not a manager.
Oh, now that's how you clear a bitch. I don't know who that hoe is.
Like, where did she get that? Nobody ever told her she's a manager. She's not a manager.
From that day on, when I heard Lavi say, mind you, Lavi has a higher position than Karen. So from that day on, when I heard Lavi say, oh, Karen's not a manager, oh, baby, I wrote that to the end. Okay, baby, I wrote that to the end. I was like, oh, Karen's not a manager? Bet. Y'all should have never let me be in the room and heard that at the same time, because I never really thought she was a manager. But the fact that I'm hearing it out of somebody who has the ability to highly influence somebody getting hired or fired, say that out of their mouth, I was like, oh yeah, so when Karen comes back, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably going to have like, you know, a little conversation with her, because the gaggy on it is too, when she was gone, I was actively being trained for her position.
Clock it, clock it, clock it, clock it. Store.
Like, I knew how to open up the store, close the store, count the drawers. Like, they was actually having me count the drawers and everything, and write down and close out the register and open up the like, they had me doing basically the stuff that she was doing, which wasn't much more than what a bud tender one does. You know, you just have un poquito bit more responsibility. I had the mindset that, you know what I'm saying, I don't know what type of ish Karen is going to be on, but the moment, I already had it in my head, like the moment she start trying to, if she thinks she's going to boss, if she thinks that she's going to leave this job and come back and try to tell me what to do, after she just crashed out, you're not even a leader because you're over here talking about employees and talking about your coworkers, but not having a conversation with them to even dish out whatever issue that you have. You coming up in here and essentially smiling in their face, because that's what I was noticing as well when she was back. She went from talking about Lavi to smiling in her face, which I found confusing.
That's weird.
But okay, this is like the beginning of our shift now. This is the beginning of our shift. Like I said, boom, I'm packing the gummies, right? I already told y'all everything about the gummies. Karen, you know, she starts bringing out the gummies for us to start packing them up and stuff. And Karen is basically like,
yeah, so we'll just do 30 of each flavor.
Mind you, I've been here, so I know what the fuck is going on. I was like, yeah, that's not possible. I told her straight up, like, yeah, that's not possible, because I know that because I've been there at the job and I basically kind of picked up her slack while she was gone.
And
I know that how long one jar takes, because we have to dust off sugar on some of the flavors, not all, but some. So I'm just basically telling her, like, yeah, that's not going to happen because it takes X amount of time to do this, that, and the fourth. And she was like,
wait, what?
And, you know, before I could explain to her, like, hey, you know, the owner had a conversation with me letting me know X, Y, and Z. A customer had came in and it was my turn to take a customer. So I go out, I take the customer, and I come back. Mind you, I'm in a great mood. So when I come back to the back to tell Karen, oh yeah, owner said da 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 da. As I come back and I'm about to start, and I'm like, yeah, so basically picking up from where we left off, Karen cuts me off and she says,
just do whatever you can.
Just do whatever you can.
Wait a damn minute.
Mind you, Karen has never had like such a tone with me. And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a special person to where but it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And the way she said it, which, you know, the smart people, I'm sure y'all can pick up, was very dismissive. Bitch, you're not gonna dismiss me.
Clock it.
Bitch, you're not gonna dismiss me because I'm a grown, the same way you're a grown ass woman, I'm a grown ass woman as well. So we're gonna speak to each other that works for both, in a way that works for both of us. You're not gonna motherfucking dismiss me. So as soon as like she dismissed me in that moment, the old me, the younger version of me, probably would have instantly reacted in that moment. Like, is you good? Like, why is you, you know what I'm saying? I would have been on some ish like that. But I was like, Alicia, woosah, you're gonna be a different breed than Karen, because the next time she says something out of line to you, you got about one or two like you got the first one, because the first one could have been like, you know what I'm saying, that could be me giving you the benefit of the doubt. But if there's another instance where you talking in a tone that I'm not really fucking with, because you know what I'm saying, my own mother, the woman who birthed me, don't even be talking to me, you know, with a certain type of tonage no more. So if my mama, you know what I'm saying, talk to me with decent respect, if my mama don't dismiss me, bitch, you damn sure not about to motherfucking dismiss me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna let that slide for now. But the next instance, I'm checking that ass. I'm checking that ass. I don't give a fuck. It was literally later on that same day. I don't know if it was later on that same day or a different day. It might have been a different day, but this is all in, just know y'all, this is all in close proximity, days, hours, whatever apart. The next occurrence, it still has something to do with the gummies. I think nothing else happened that initial day where she dismissed me, because I don't even think she was working the whole day. That's what it was. She wasn't even working the whole day. So I didn't even have to deal with her for my full work shift, because she left around 1 p.m. that day, where I was leaving at 8 p.m. The next day, she was off and I was working, I had a conversation with Mari, basically like, hey, if there's another instance where she is speaking to me in a tonage that I don't like, because it's like, before you left, you know what I'm saying, you was cool. Well, you wasn't really cool, you know what I'm saying, but like, you wasn't on no, it's kind of giving like that little power trippy stuff in her head that she was trying to do with Golden. She was trying to do it with me, and baby, I'm not the person that you're gonna do this with.
That is not correct.
I'm sorry. Like, I pay my own rent. I pay my own bills. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I take care of myself. Nobody's gonna talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to answer to you, or I have to listen to what you say. And you know what I'm saying? It's just not going down like that. Like, not at this point in my life. And I think it was the next day now, Mari was off and me and Karen are working together now. This day, it was the same old. She was being quiet. She was being standoffish, not really talking unless it was directly work related. And I was cool with that. It was what it was. But the tension was, I don't know why it was so thick, because I'm just trying to figure out, like, what did I do to her for her to come back and her, you know, kind of being silent. And I'm saying that because while she was kind of stiff arming me and Mari, she was keying it up with Lavi.
I am confusion.
And I wouldn't say like they was keying it up, but it was like, it was giving Karen found any reason, any little bullshit ass reason. Like, for example, asking her like if she should clean the dust off the top of the fridge. Like dumbass questions like that. Like like, you know what I'm saying? Like questions that she knows the answers to. Just finding any reason to initiate conversation with Lavi. And I just found that weird, because I'm like, isn't that the same you was talking shit about before you left? And now you came back and... So whatever, it's this same day now. I think we was still kind of doing gummies, because that's how long it was taking to get through these fucking gummies, okay? I have a batch of gummies that I'm doing, and she has a batch of gummies that she's doing this day, right? And the way I was taking like the sugar off the gummies, I was using my own little technique. I'm not about to go into the details, but I was using a technique that worked for me. And I had tried to give Karen a suggestion. I don't know if you tried doing it like this, but I've started doing like this, and I feel like it's easier.
Oh no, like I'm just gonna do it how I'm doing it.
I'm like, okay, like what the and not too long after that, like literally moments later, she says something along the lines of,
You don't have to do it like that. You don't have to like, take and scrape every corner, every inch of the gummy bear of the sugar, because we don't want to be sitting here doing gummies all day.
Girl, shut the fuck up.
So I tell her, oh no, I think I'm gonna just keep doing it like this. I mean, management has seen me doing it like this and they haven't said anything. So, like, girl, and you talking about, oh, we don't want to take all day doing gummies. We don't want to spend time doing gummies all day. Da, da, da. And I'm just sitting here like, girl, what are you saying? Because when you was gone, shit was taking all day.
Clock it.
But it was still getting done. So why is it that just because you're back, I have to do things your way? You wasn't here and the ship was still running.
Clock it. So
I just, and then there was some spiciness later on in the day when, it is getting to that time when, we're starting to clean up, because it was like a whole little procedure we had to do to clean up and close down the store and everything. And mind you, the store closed at 8 p.m. This was not a busy day. And at this point, it had to been like 7:40. I think I had a customer, took my customer, came back to the back to see basically what I was doing was like kind of cleaned up, right? It was kind of cleaned up. And what I was doing, I was working on the gummies all day. I'm basically trying to show her like, bitch, you don't run me. Like, you work here and I work here. As far as I'm concerned, you're not my boss, so I don't have to jump when you say jump. When you say jump, I don't have to say how high. I was responsible for packing 15 jars of gummies. When I had taken the customer, I only had 14. And when I come back, there is one jar left on the table and it's an empty jar. So like I told you, I went to the customer, came back, and my little section was cleaned up. I'm so confused. I'm like, who just cleaned up my section? Which I knew it had to been Karen, just because who else could it have been? And then on top of that, it's one jar left, right? So I'm like, okay, well, F it. We have like an hour and 20 minutes before we close. Like, I don't know why she's rushing to clean stuff up. I don't know why she's cleaning up my section as if I'm not a grown ass person who could clean up after themselves. I don't know why, but whatever. So as I'm going to go and pack the 15th jar of gummies, Karen, she's walking around like she's in a rush, like to do some shit or whatever the case may be. And as she's walking past like the area that I'm in, packing the 15th jar of gummies because I was supposed to make 15 jars of gummies, she passes the table like this. I'm gonna show y'all how she passed. She passes the table like,
What are you doing?
I know you fucking lying, bitch. I know you fucking lying.
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
No, you not. 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 No. You see what the fuck I'm doing, bitch.
Stupid.
And it's like the way she did it. I don't know if y'all catching my vibe. Like, it's like the way she did it. She did it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was a child getting caught doing something wrong, playing with something that I wasn't supposed to be playing with or do. That's how you talking to me right now. When she says that to me, I had to breathe because I'm like, Alicia, you just gotta wait. You gotta before you say anything to her, you gotta make sure you real calm because you know she a Karen. So I looked up at her and I said,
My job.
So Karen, she turns around and she's like,
Oh, I was gonna tell you, you didn't have to do that because, we're gonna close soon, it's time for us to start cleaning up, da 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 da.
And I looked at her and continued to pack the jar with the gummies. You was gonna tell me what? You wasn't gonna tell me shit. You just walk past this table and ask me what I'm doing. Like you don't got two eyes and glasses on, bitch, to see what the fuck I'm doing. So I was like, oh yeah. Between the little instances over the last couple of days, Karen's getting checked.
Yeah, they squabbling out there now. Yeah.
Karen's getting checked expeditiously. I don't give a fuck. Or I think it was like a Friday, and then the next day was a Saturday where I was able to talk to Mari again and be like, Mari, I'm having a conversation with this. She needs to know that you can play your role and play your position and not be on my dick. Cause it's uncalled for. I don't need to be here doing my job, working, and you being on my dick and you're not nobody. You are my coworker. You are not my boss, you're my coworker. You don't need to be trying to micromanage me, be on my... No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, bro. Because nobody was doing it when you was not here. Things were still running without you. So when you're hit, just because you're back, that does not mean like anything that Karen says goes. No, you're not the owner. Your name is not on the building. Like you don't cut no paychecks. You can't fire nobody. You don't approve vacation time. You don't do none of that shit. So you're not gonna be clocking me, bitch. That's what I was basically on. Sure enough, Monday comes. It's me, Mari, Karen working. But Mari had to, she had to go to the other store and come back, right? So before she did that, I basically was like, okay, Mari, can I initiate my little conversation? Because we was probably, I gave it, everybody time to get settled into work and everything like that. Yeah, so, am I good to have my conversation with her? Like, should I have it with you present or without you present? Like, how should I do it? She was like, just do it with me here in case things go left. And it was great that Mari was there. I don't remember what we was doing, but we was doing some type of production activity. And of course, it was quiet because all of a sudden Karen don't speak to me and Mari, but she find any reason to talk to Lavi. Okay. Probably there for like an hour and a half. Karen was actually like, she wasn't really talking to me too much, but her tonage seemed like a bit more nicer that day. I don't really know. We were sitting at a table. Karen was sitting across from me and I was like, hey Karen, can I have a conversation with you? I just wanted to like address some things with you.
Yeah, what did you want to address?
Yeah, so I understand that we all work here together and we all have our respective roles that we have. I understand that you have a position that you feel like you need to uphold.
And
I feel like you can do your job and you can uphold your position without micromanaging my job and my position. That's what her face was looking like when I said that. Karen basically responds, and like I said, she had like a little confuzzled, confused look on her face, like, huh? Like, I could tell, like, it was kind of like she looked at Mari for some type of validation, like, are you hearing this right now? Like, do you hear her, how she's speaking to me? Like, that's kind of what the look kind of gave. Like, are you going to say anything to her? Not even knowing, like, Mari gave me the green light to have this grown woman ass conversation with you. Karen responds, and she's basically like,
well, I mean, I wouldn't call it micromanaging, I would just call it coaching. Sometimes we all need coaching. Sometimes, Mary coaches me. Sometimes I coach myself. It's just a little coaching.
But Karen, like, whatever you want to call it, I don't need you trying to coach my job. I don't need you trying to micromanage my job. I'm not a new employee anymore where you need to, make sure I'm doing everything correctly. Like, I know how to do my job and I know how to do my job well. So like I said, you know what I'm saying? You could do your job and not micromanage mine. So at this point now, Karen is getting visibly upset. Like, at this point, she is visibly upset. I don't remember all of the back and forth and the details, but because she kind of knew what I was referring to and insinuating, she brought up the whole topic about the fact that,
well, yeah, coaching does need to be involved if we're taking all day to do gummies. I've spoke with others and they have agreed with me.
Who's others? Name names. Like, what you mean? Like, others? You spoke to others and they agreed with you. Who are you talking about?
Mari agreed with me.
And when she said Mari's name, Mari looked up, because she was listening to what we was talking about, or whatever. And Mari looked up and Mari was like,
huh? Mari what?
And as soon as Mari kind of gave that energy, like, because it's like, why is you bringing up my name in y'all conversation? I have nothing to do with that. Karen kind of tones it down a little bit and she's like,
yeah, we did have a conversation, like, regarding the gummies.
And Mari was like,
yeah, I mean, we did have a conversation about the gummies and just overall production, that we should be efficient with our time. But I also said that there doesn't have to be a rush on when we do production. Like, whatever we can get done, we can get done. As long as we're working, that's all that matters. That's what I said.
Karen was basically trying to make it seem like Mari directly agreed with what she was saying, and that wasn't the case. Now it's kind of like, at this point, it's kind of just getting into, the situation gets escalated. I don't remember the details of everything, but just know the situation gets escalated, not by me, by Karen. Because now Mari is not co-signing her BS, she is even more upset. It was like she went from 0 to 5 to 10 to 100. Like, Karen is getting up. She's like,
okay, well, you know what? I don't want to argue. I'm not doing this.
Twin, Jill vibe, like, your ass is not Jill vibing, like, at all.
She gets up, she's like pacing back and forth. She's like,
I'm about to take my break.
Cause I'm sitting down speaking calmly to this woman and she's getting up, getting frantic, like about to run away from the conversation because she don't want to have the conversation. She don't want to argue. And I'm like, girl, we're not arguing. We're having a grown adult conversation because we are people that have to work together and have to communicate. Like, I'm just trying to make sure that we could get an understanding of each other's work styles. Like, that's just all I'm trying to do. Like, I'm just trying to communicate with you and make sure we understand how we're gonna work with each other. That's it. Cause then when she says something, like, I had to clock her tea too, like in the midst of us, having the little friendly back and forth, the little friendly tennis match. Cause you talking about, oh, you complaining about me taking all day to do stuff. Like, I had to I let her know what I let y'all know. Karen, when you was gone, and I'm looking her dead in her face saying this, I was like, Karen, when you was gone, this was taking all day to do. That was taking all day to do. Who do you think was picking up your slack when you was gone?
Clock it.
Stuff was getting done. So that's why I'm telling you, like, to just chill. Like, you need to just chill out because stuff was getting done when you wasn't here and nobody's complaining. So you don't get to just abandon the job and come back to the job and think you're gonna run shit. That's all I'm telling you. Like, it's not going down like that. That's it. That's it. That's all.
I said
what I said.
That's when she started crashing out. Then when I told her, like, listen, like, we're not trying to argue with you, Karen. Mari's on the side, like,
Karen, like, it's not like that. Like
we're trying to talk to her on some, like, bro, like, nobody's even trying to attack you. We are literally just trying to communicate with you. Karen gonna go say something like,
well, I don't even know what my position is anymore. Like, I just might as well just go back to being a regular blood tender.
I was like, Karen, you're not my boss. Girl, the look in her eyes, the look at her face, when I had to tell her, Karen, you are not her. You are not a main character. Girl, the girl looked like she done seen the Ghost of Christmas Past, girl. Past. She looked like she done seen the Ghost of Christmas Past when I had to tell her, baby, you're not running nothing over here. You're not my boss. And she stormed out and took her break. Well, before she even stormed out and took her break, when I had said, you're not my boss.
You're not my dad.
She was like, well, you know what, Alicia?
If that's how you feel, I'm sorry.
This is too much. Like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for, like, now we got to deal with your crash outs. Because now she's basically crashing out on me and Mari. She's talking over Mari. Thankfully, that day as well, she left early, so I didn't really have to be around her for too much more time. But I was just like, yeah, nah. And you want to be respected as some type of leadership role? I'm really confused. Like, I'm really confused how you want to be respected as some type of leadership role, but this is how you're behaving when conflict and confrontation arise. I don't know if y'all know, but sometimes in order to grow as an individual on this planet, as a human being, you have to put yourself through and in some uncomfortable positions in order to truly grow as an individual. The fact that she couldn't have this uncomfortable conversation told me everything that I needed to know. You're not a boss. You're not a boss. You're not that girl. You're not the girl that you think you are. You couldn't even have a simple conversation regarding us communicating with each other about how we're going to work together. It was hard for you to do that. So I really don't know. And yeah, she winded up leaving for the day. After she left, I don't know if it was like the same day or the day after, she's texting Mari talking about,
you let her yell at me.
Yelling.
You let her say that I'm not her boss.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a mental illness?
Nobody yelled, and you're not my boss. Is that so hard to believe? And notice how she wasn't corrected. Like, Karen never got corrected. Nobody told her. You know what? Let me continue the story. Mari basically responded to her regarding her saying that, like, you know,
I'm sorry you feel that way, but, you know, if you want to set up a meeting with me, you, owner, and Alicia so that we can smooth these things out, you know, let me know when you want to set up a date for us all to have a meeting.
Karen doesn't respond to that message. It's a day later. I don't know if it was like a day or two later, but just know all of this happened within all the rest of the story that I'm about to tell y'all right now. All of this happened in a matter of days, like 7 days. Let's just keep this in mind. She never responds to Mari's message about us setting up a meeting because I guess, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't know if she didn't want to, you know, face the truth or face the fear. I don't know. But Mari was basically telling me at this point, she's kind of like washing her hands with Karen. She's kind of fed up because Mari basically explains to me something that I didn't know up until this time frame, that since Karen has been hired, she has had issues with every single person that has been hired after her. I was like, that can't be so. She was like, yes. She has had issues with everyone that has came in here. So she was like, you know, I don't know what to do anymore with her. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm tired of dealing with it. Like, it's coming to a point where it's just like, okay, in math class, you know, we learned about fractions, numerators, denominators, common denominators, and Karen is a common denominator. Mari was kind of just washing her hands of Karen. Lavi was kind of washing her hands of Karen because, you know, you already kind of been behind the scenes talking ish, but not ever saying nothing to her face or nothing. So we know you're going home to your wife that you low-key be cheating on.
And
But we'll get into that. And you know what? We'll get into it right now. It was this Dusty. And somebody, like, girl, shut the fuck up, okay? Because some girl was mad that I addressed somebody as a Dusty in one of my videos. Like, bitch, you was not there. And you clearly don't know what the definition of a Dusty is. And you wasn't there. So you don't know if who I'm talking about is Dusty. So please keep it on mute. Karen, there would be a Dusty customer who would come in. And every time he came in, he would ask for Karen. And the times that Karen was there and he was there, they would be real close to each other. Having little conversations like that. But I thought you was a married lesbian. But you over here flirting with a man in a man's face at your job. Okay. I digress. So the way the schedules was kind of set up around this time, this little incident happened, and I think, was I off the next day? I think I was off the next day, this going round. So either Karen was off the next day or I was off the next day. I don't know. One of us was off the next day. So, you know, we didn't have to deal with each other immediately. I think I was off. I think that's what it was. Yeah, I was off the next day. Then the next day came. I think she was off. So we didn't have any interactions for 2 days after the initial crash out with me. Now it's about to be, before we even get to the day where me and her had to work together for our, literally the first shift since, which wasn't that long of a time. It's only 2 days. And I told you all of this that I'm saying happening in a week, right? Okay. Basically, we worked together again 2 days after she crashed out initially. Let's say the crash out day was a Monday. I was off Tuesday. Then I came back in Wednesday and she was off. Now it's Thursday and me and her work together. But let's go back to Wednesday, right? When it was like Wednesday, I don't remember all that transpired that day. I'm sure we was all talking about how we're all done with Karen. Like, bro, like, you don't know how to just chill. You don't know how to just vibe out. Like, you don't, like, you just always want to be the main character of something and always like make something more than what it needs to be. I don't understand, bro. I don't understand. Because first of all, when the situation happened, I had Karen on like Instagram and TikTok. I blocked her immediately because I don't have the time. Like, girl, I don't want you nowhere near anything that has anything to do with my personal life. I don't want you nowhere near it because as far as I'm concerned, you're a certified weirdo to me at this point. You're a certified weirdo. You can't even have grown woman conversations. You telling Mari, oh, you let her tell me that that I'm not her boss. Rah, rah, rah. And it's like, you don't even act like a boss.
clock it.
So how could you be my boss and you don't even act like a boss? You're not even a boss. So how could you be my boss and you're not even a boss? A boss doesn't run away from confrontation. A boss doesn't run away from the kitchen when it start getting a little hot, when it start getting a little steamy in there. A boss don't fucking do that. So as for why you are so bothered that you're not my boss, I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand that. Mari still has Karen on Instagram and she's tapping through Karen's stories, and Karen says something along the line. She posts something on her story along the lines of,
my coworkers don't like me.
On her story, knowing that there's a chance that one of her coworkers might see.
They stay trying to invite me to stuff.
Yeah.
But I never want to go with them.
Like, she just saying some wild shit on her story. Like, when I heard the coworkers, my coworkers, knowing that she didn't have Lavi on social media, but she had me and Mari on social media, and I said I blocked her immediately after she crashed out and did what she did. And I'm just like, what? I was like, oh yeah, so when she comes in tomorrow, I'm definitely, I already wasn't going to speak to her as it was, just to continue to show her like she's not, you're not my boss. You're not my dad.
You're not my dad.
You're not my boss. Like, but now that I hear that you're going on social media and you're saying like low-key antagonistic things, I'm confused. I'm definitely giving her my ass to kiss, because you over on social media posting stuff that clearly is going to add some fuel to the fire. God send a prayer up. Let God send a prayer up from when I gotta go in tomorrow and work with this damn near the whole day tomorrow. And here's another thing I want to touch on too. Like, Karen was, you talking about, oh, we invite you to stuff and we always invite you to stuff and you never want to go. We never invited you to anything. So I don't know if you're referring to the one time like Golden tried to include you in something and then you threw a temper tantrum over that. But between me, Mari, and Lavi, we've never invited you to do anything outside of work. We've actually went on a whole group outing to a haunted house and you were not thought of. You were not like you was only thought of when I was asking Mari and Lavi and essentially confirming that we were not inviting you to the haunted house. And they were both like, yeah, no, she's not invited. So
I am confusion.
You're delusional and you're a liar. And you're not. Okay, got it. So now is the next day where me and Karen have to work together now. And I'm just like, oh, God, bro. Like, wow, work that, like, fuck, like, my job was so cool until you made it an issue. And mind you, I got that Instagram story in mind. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not playing no games with this bitch. Say one wrong word, bitch. One wrong word. I'm liable to crash out on you now just because you was talking crazy on your story. First of all, when I pull up to the job, we don't have like a uniform, but we did have like a little branded shirts that we wore, and we had little different varieties of the branded shirts. But it was like this day, it was like this bitch, this whole motherfucking came in on a motherfucking vengeance. Like, I was like, this bitch is a goofy. She usually dresses a certain kind of way. Like, she usually dresses like chill, lounge stuff, colorful colors, maybe like a skirt with some flowers on it, you know, little lounge yoga pants, like Converse sneakers, like that's how she be coming in. But this day, which was unbeknownst to me, her second to last day, but we'll get into it in a second. I come in, right? Because she was already in the store, opening up the store already, okay? So when I walk up to the door, I'm basically waiting for her to come to the door. She opens the door. I don't say shit to her. Like, first of all, I had my glasses on. You know what I'm saying? I had being very shady. Had my glasses on. She opened the door. I start walking in because I don't have anything to say to you. She was like, oh, good morning. Like, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, bitch. Like, don't do it. I noticed that Karen has on combat boots, black combat boot, black pants, and a black leather jacket. And her hair is a little different. So I'm just like, bitch, it's a new character every day. Who are you now? Carnita? First you was Karen, now you're Carnita. Like, it's different levels to the like, okay, I'm not clocking anybody on what they can and can't wear, but at this point, 8 months that I've been working here, you have never came in here looking like you just hopped off of a motorcycle. We open up the store, you know, I do what I need to do in my part to open up the store. She do what she needs to do, and we're not speaking. I'm not speaking to her. I'm in the back eating my breakfast, doing my own little thing. So when I'm done eating my breakfast, I guess, you know, Karen found that the right time for her to, you know, come up to me, and she approached me very demure, very nicely, very not trying to have no static with me. And she was like, Alicia, don't Alicia, don't Alicia me. Don't Alicia me, bitch, because you was talking crazy on your story last night. So what do you want, bitch? I know how, Alicia, like you a lost puppy or something. Bitch, what do you want? You was acting like a pit bull last night. Now you acting like a lost puppy today. So I look up at her and I'm like,
I just want to apologize for my behavior the other day. It was very uncalled for. And, you know, I'm sorry if She
basically just cop and please and apologizing. Just cop and please and fucking apologizing. And I'm just looking at her like,
child. Anyway, so
you saying this to me after you was talking crazy on your Instagram story last night, but okay, we're still having a meeting where we're exposing you to the owner, because the whole thing was the owner, he never really firsthand seen how she be, you know, how she can come off to people. And that's what I had told her when we had the little back and forth as well. Like, don't speak to me in a condescending manner. Don't look at me doing something and ask me no dumb question, asking me what I'm doing and you see what I'm doing. Like I had to talk to her like that. Like don't do that with me. I'm not the one you're gonna do that with, babe. Don't do it. Now today you talking about you sorry for your behavior. Thank you for the apology, but I don't believe you and I don't trust you. Literally less than 24 hours ago on your Instagram story talking about how your coworkers don't like you and they try to invite you to stuff and you never want to go, and every time you come into work you don't want to be here, you just want to go home. I forgot she was saying stuff like that on her story too. And then she even told Mari in her little text message when she was like, you let her say that I'm not her boss.
You're not my dad.
She was saying too, like, oh, she just want to come in and keep her head down. How you want to come into the job and just keep your head down? It is a total of 4 of us working here. Like, how is that possible? How are you going to do that? We are too small of a team for you to come in here and have the mindset that you just going to put your head down and stay out the way. And this is kind of what I'm basically kind of telling her, like, listen, I had this conversation with you so that we can have an understanding. We don't work in some big ass corporate company where, you know what I'm saying, the building is so big, we have a west wing and an east wing, and my office is on the east wing and yours is on the west wing, where we don't have to ever see each other outside of monthly staff meetings. No, we work together. We work together. So all I was doing with that conversation, I wasn't trying to start no drama with you. I was just trying to make sure that we have an understanding on how we gonna work with each other. That's it. And you took it to where you wanted to take it. So whatever. She was like,
yeah, no, like I completely understand, Alicia.
Like I said, cop and please. She was like,
yeah, let's just hope for a great work day.
I was like, yeah. Cause I still don't fuck with you because of what you was posting on your story. Like it's just kind of not giving. And when Lavi had came in, I think that's when I had decided to go on my lunch break. So when I went on my lunch break and I came back from my lunch break, Karen went on her lunch break. And when Karen went on her lunch break, Lavi gave me the information that Karen had put in a 1 week's notice.
Oh my God.
Don't act shocked.
Did I do that? Did I run the girl out the job? Did I run her out the job? Was I the last straw for her? Like, no way. I was like, bitch, you lying. She was like, I was like, well, hey, she just made it easy. She was gonna have to go either way. Like I kind of was already, you know what I'm saying, like telling Lavi and Mari, or not telling them, but like telling them, but like not demanding. We need to have a meeting with everyone, including the owner. Now she's posting stuff on social media and like she not gonna be able to work here. Like I guarantee you she not gonna work here much longer. I guarantee you she not gonna work here much longer. I'm guarantee you she gonna have to get let go after this motherfucking meeting. But hey, she just made it easier for everybody involved. I'm like, well shit, we probably don't even have to have the meeting anymore because she's quitting the job. So there's nothing to discuss. Let's just get her 1 week up and over with and sayonara, bitch. Don't let the door hit you on your motherfucking way out. This same day that she put in her 2 week or not 2 weeks notice, her 1 week's notice, the owner had came in to, I guess basically, you know, have some conversation with her, trying to figure out like, hey, what's going on. When he had came in, I was like about to take a customer. So I was up there with the customer for a little bit, and I come back to the back, you know, where we be at, and I see that, you know, again, owner and Karen are having this close little intimate conversation. They're trying to speak as low as they possibly can so that, you know, everybody, which is just me and Lavi, is not in the conversation, but we could very much still hear the conversation because it's one big room. I wasn't ear hustling or nothing, but I'm just overhearing things that, oh my God, when I tell y'all the strength that it took for me to not intervene. Cause I'm hearing Karen talking to owner, talking about,
yeah, and you know, things just kind of just escalated, and you know, next thing I know, Alicia is telling me that I'm not her boss. You're not my dad! And you know, I just don't understand, you know, why I was given a certain position just for somebody to tell me that I'm not their boss and for them to yell at me.
And I'm just like, you really feel some type of way to know that you're not my boss. Like, it is really bothering you to your core to know that you're not my boss, because even in that moment, owner did not deny that she in fact was not my boss. Like, he didn't confirm or deny that she wasn't. Like, he kind of was just like,
okay, like, Let's reel it in.
Like, you need to stop focusing. Like, that struck a nerve. Like, that really hit her in the jugular. Like, that really hit her to her core, to her. Ugh. If you was given the title manager, like, if they really made you like a manager for real, you was gonna do nothing but abuse your power.
Clock it.
Look at what you're doing, and look at how you moving, and you're just a key holder. Like, you're literally just a key holder. Girl, like, you don't oversee my paychecks. You don't process payroll. Like, you can't fire me. You can't hire me. You can't approve my time off. Like, I don't gotta come to you about, yo, I want to take these vacations. I don't gotta do none of that. Therefore, you're not my boss. That's why I said that to you, because it's facts, it's true, and nobody else denied that. You're the only person in denial.
Delusional.
About the fact that you're not my boss. Oh, and this is what I forgot to tell y'all too. When she came to me apologizing that day, she already knew she was having a mental health crisis, but she straight up told me, yes, Alicia, I'm sorry for X, Y, and Z, but I'm currently going through a mental health crisis. Then that means that you don't even need to be here. Everything that happens here is going to tick you off. It's going to set you off. You're going to be going through some type of emotional fucking turmoil. And you think that you're going to be my boss? How could you be my boss and you're not even mentally right in the head? You could never be my boss, bitch. You could never be a boss or my boss. And the way the conversation was going between her and owner, it was giving like he was trying to just convince her to stay for a little while longer. Like, he was trying to make her not leave, but it was like, sir, if she wants to go, let her go. She already took a 2-week break. Now she's trying to put in a 1-week notice. Let the bitch go. Let her go, bro. Like, the way their conversation ended, it seemed to have ended on like, I don't know, a happy note, because she was giggling and all types of shit after. I think someone had came into the store, right? A customer and the mail lady had came in at the same time, or the customer was already out there. I don't remember, but just know that Karen was already out there. There was a customer out there and the mail lady was out there. So when I had go out there just to grab the mail from the mail lady, Karen clearly sees that I'm walking out to grab the mail from the mail lady. She proceeds to grab the mail from the mail lady. And I have my hand out so that I can grab the mail. And Karen proceeds to put the mail on the counter behind her.
You trying to provoke me.
This is the door you want to open up? You want to open up with the ish, Alicia? So when she put the mail on the counter behind her, I said, yo, the way I snatched that shit up, because I'm like, bitch, and I looked at her. I gave her a nice little stare, like into her soul. Like, she wasn't looking at me, but I was looking right her into her soul. Like, don't play with me, bro. When I ask you to clock out and go outside, you better be ready to do that, and you better not be ready to call no fucking cops. That's the type of game you kind of trying to play with me. Like, why would you see me trying to come up to get the mail and put the shit on the counter by you? It was quiet for the most part for the rest of the day. The next day, I was off. I was just like, you know what, Alicia? It's 1 more week. You're going to have to deal with this for 1 more week, and you're not going to have to deal with this bitch ever again. It's the next day. I'm off. I get a text from Mari, and Mari is basically like, hey, so we have some extra shifts available because Karen quit officially today.
Oh, now that's how you clear a bitch.
Do you want to pick up the extra shifts? I was like, I sure can. Let's get this money. That's badass girls ain't the city. You know what? Real bitches in the city. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have some tea when I go into work tomorrow. And sure enough, I went into work and, got the little updated tea. And Mari and Lavi basically tell me that they was both working at the day before, where Karen just basically upped and left. They was like how, of course she came in on her, at this point, her normal dark cloud behavior, not really speaking to nobody, not really interacting, lousy vibe, lousy energy. Like, they was like how she basically wasn't doing anything for the whole day. Like, she wasn't working, she wasn't doing it. Like, she went from, we shouldn't be taking all day from doing this, to she not even doing nothing at all. They basically was like, she just kept staying in the front of the store, kept walking out, taking smoke breaks, doing whatever the fuck she was doing, to where she finally came back. I think she came back inside from whatever little break that she had, she basically told, I don't know if Mari's on her lunch break or whatever the case may be, but she told Lavi,
there's something going on with my daughter at school. I need to go and pick her up. I need to leave and pick her up right now.
So Lavi was like, okay, girl, go. And apparently Karen never came back. She never came back to the job because that was her last day, because either one of the two had went to the back. They had went to, because we had like a little area where we would like, it was like a fake little break room where we would like eat our lunch and stuff like that. And one of them had passed the table like that we would eat on. They see Karen's key on the table. They see her key on the table. They're confused because it's just like, why is her key here? Mari texts Karen and she was like, okay, so being that your key is here, does that mean that today was your last day? And Karen responds and says yes. And scene. Because, you know, being the extra bitch that she is, of course, she had to leave. What's the saying? She had to leave out with a bang. She had to leave out with a bang. She had to leave out and leave the key on the table and walk mysteriously out the door, never to return on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Cause that's what it's giving at this point. Like that's what it's giving. Like, I don't know. That is essentially that story. I've been sitting here for a minute, so y'all probably know at this point that this video was broken up into 2 parts. It's giving like a little mini series, okay? I haven't heard or seen of Karen after this day.
Hey guys, it's Editing Lisi. Don't mind me, I look a little crazy right now, but it's okay. I've actually forgot to tell y'all in the video, this wasn't really fully the end of Karen and her energy and her influence, because not too long after Karen left the job, Karen allegedly had influence on one of her friends, aka a customer, leave a false negative review about none other than moi. If y'all want that story, I need this video to get 500 likes. Basically, at this point, this was not supposed to be a series, but it done turned into like a little mini 3-part series. So if y'all want that next video about how the customer lied on me, because that's a whole other story time, I need 500 likes on this video.
But it was actually so funny because I think it was probably like 2 weeks around that time frame. It was a customer who had came in and she had asked about her actually. She was like,
is Karen here?
I was like, oh no, she's no longer with us. And I kept it very short because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not about to get into the details on why Karen is no longer with us. The lady is like,
really? What happened with her? What happened?
You know, I think she was just going through some things and, you know, she just decided to resign from the job.
Oh, okay. Oh, but wasn't she the manager?
I don't even know what to say.
The manager wasn't she told you she was the manager. I was like, oh yeah, this bitch is cool for Cocoa Puffs. So I told old lady, oh no. I was like, she was just the key holder. She wasn't the manager. She was like, really? Yes. She was just a key holder. She was not the manager. She was not the manager. So you're so delusional that you was out here telling people, your friends and family and whoever the fuck this lady was, you was out here telling them too that you was the manager, and you were in fact not even a manager, much less the manager. You just wanted to force yourself into that main character position, and it's not you, babes. It's okay to be an understudy. Stand in your understudy position and be proud. Be proud of being an understudy. Moral of the story, y'all, Karen was delusional. She was not right in the head, as we know. She admitted to going through a mental health crisis. And you know what I'm saying? I hope that you get your mental together, but the people at your job are not obligated to deal with you and your mental health crises. And anybody feels some type of way that I said that,
we do not care.
I don't care, because that is the truth. Like, that's what you have friends and family for. When you come to your job, we all going through stuff. We don't deserve to have to go through your stuff with you. babes, okay? Yeah, that's basically the story time on how Karen had to let her know you're not a main character. Basically about how my coworker wanted to be my boss, like, so bad. It's like, Ma, chill. You're not just vibing, twin. Like, just chill. If you made it to the end of this video, put this emoji on the screen. Definitely don't forget to give the video a big like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next story time. Later.
I think I lie for you. I think I die for you. Sure that you cry